this video actually this is going to be two parts. So this will be part one. This will be focusing on mobility, flexibility, range of motion of the hips. So the hips are a ball and socket, so we've got to make sure that we're doing the whole thing. And a lot of times we think of hip openings as just being the knees moving out and it's very lateral. We want to make sure that we're getting a full range of motion in the hip. And one of the best ways to do that is in a non-weight bearing situation. So we're going to be doing this entire practice on the back, just allowing yourself to move very slowly. There'll be lots of holds in here, so you've got to be patient. Flexibility, whether it's physical or whether it's emotional, doesn't come from contraction and doesn't come from pushing. It comes from being quiet and allowing and being patient. So that's what this practice will be, just letting yourself be patient. Okay, we'll go ahead and start. So, bringing the back to the floor, making sure your head is on a blanket because we're going to be here for a little bit. It may even be on a pillow if you want a little bit more height. And then making sure that you're very comfortable in your back. Pretty much located in the middle of your mat. If you're using a mat, don't have to have a mat for this. Just be on the carpeting or just something that protects your body. We're looking for the knees to be bent and the feet to be on the floor, toes pointed straight down the mat. Want to make sure we're not turning the toes out or in, just straight down. And then we're going to look for the center of the pelvis right into the very middle. This is important because a lot of times we have a tendency to list or lean one way, and by doing that, we then use our hips differently. So I want to make sure we're right in the very middle of the pelvis. And a sense of lightness in the back of the waist, so you could almost slide your hand or a pencil. We all have different shaped lower backs, but we want to make sure that that back waist isn't pressed into the floor. There's a little bit of space. Shoulder blades are snuggled down, and the head is right in the very middle. So again, we haven't listed from one side or the other. So to warm up the hips, we got the hips moving. Sometimes we have to pay attention more to what's below and above. And if the lower back is a little bit tight, that's going to automatically tighten up your hips. So let's go ahead and just start by letting the lower back get a little bit of movement here by drawing the knees in and then a little bit of movement away. Just slide your hands up and down. This is a great way to start any morning if you're laying in bed and if your back is feeling a little stiff. It's just a gentle wake-up call for your back. And also begins to get you paying attention to your breathing. So as you begin to exhale, the knees pull in, and then when you start to inhale, the knees move away. Exhale, the knees start to come in. As you start to inhale, the knees move away. Just a few more times. And if you want to, you could start letting the knees open a little bit. Same thing, just pulling the knees in, sort of experimenting with where the knees are, bringing them closer together, wider apart. Not too much, just a little bit. And then the next time you find your knees coming in, bringing them in a little bit closer, a little rock from side to side. Just seeing sometimes you'll feel one side of the spine, of the muscles that run alongside the spine are a little more bunchy or a little more rounded than the other. And just being aware of that. Make sure you're still breathing. And we'll take the feet up towards the ceiling. Hold on to the backs of your legs. We'll let the ankles roll around a little bit. So even though this is focusing on hip flexibility, it's going to get a lot into the hamstrings and the inner thigh too. So again, just be quiet and calm with yourself. And then letting your knees go to the ground, walking your feet all the way down the mat. We'll take one big stretch here, a big full body stretch. And then drawing your feet back up towards you. Letting your arms open to a T. Just getting a little bit of rocking from side to side. We're not taking the knees to the floor. Just rolling over onto that hip and then through the buttocks and over onto the other side. Just nice and slow. There's no fast movement here. Want to take plenty of time to see how this feels in your hips, in your pelvis, and your back. And then go ahead and settle right back into the center, finding your good posture again. And drawing just your right knee in towards you, we'll give it a little snug in, and then releasing foot to ceiling. So we'll push through the ball of the foot first, and then pull the toes in, and then regroup that knee back into your body. And we'll do that again. Ball of the foot to the ceiling, pull the toes towards you. You may feel it in the back of the leg, either in calf or hamstring or both. And then tuck it in. We'll do that one more time. Ball of the foot. So you're really stretching upward. Pull the toes towards you. So now as you pull the toes towards you, take a look at what's happening in your foot. Check to see if the pinky side of your foot is pushed up higher than the arch. Because if that does, that's going to turn the knee out and affect your hip. So we want to make sure that that knee is straight forward. We're pushing a little bit more through the arch side of the foot and thinking about bringing the pinky side of the foot towards you. You may feel this all the way up into the hip. Hold this for one more breath. Maybe bring your hands to the back of the knee. You may be a little bit bent here, depends on the flexibility in hamstring. We're going to hold this for a few more breaths. No rush, unlocking the jaw. And then release your ankle and draw the knee in. And take the knee out to the side. Notice I'm not rolling onto my right hip and left back pelvis coming off the floor. Keeping the back of that left pelvis glued. So this movement is just occurring in the joint. Just letting that knee go out to the side. Hold for a little second and come back in. And letting it go out. We'll hold for a full breath this time. And bringing it back to center. And taking it out to the side. And this time we'll hold for several breaths. Maybe 3. Keeping the back of the left pelvis grounded. Just being patient. We'll go ahead and on that last breath, draw the knee in, right foot goes to the floor, let it slide all the way down the mat. We'll take a big reach with the right hand as the right leg goes down the mat. And then slide that right foot back into place. Draw left knee in. Give a little snuggle in first. And then ball of the left foot to the ceiling. Flex the ankle, pinky side more towards you, press through the arch, and then release. We'll do that again. Ball of the foot, flex, pull the pinky side, and bend. Ball of the foot, pull, pinky side, and we'll hold here. So you may want to use your hands to help your leg a little bit. You can also rest your fingertips on the back of your knee to see if you can think about pushing gently towards your fingers. Operative word here is gently. Side of the foot's pulled in, pressing the arch away. And then go ahead and bend that knee in. We'll take it out to the side. Back of that right pelvis stays glued. And bringing it back to center. And then left knee out. Just pause for a second. And bringing it back to center. Left knee out. We'll stay there for an extra breath. Back of that right pelvis on the floor. Back to center, and then left knee out, hold there. Keep the right pelvis to the floor, right kneecap pointed to the ceiling so we're not letting it drift out to the side. Right foot on the ground. One more breath. And we'll go ahead and come to center, left foot returns to the floor, slide the left leg all the way down the mat, left arm over, big stretch. Then sliding left knee back up. Taking right foot to the ceiling. This time we'll push through the heel from the very beginning. squeezing down into the back of the right pelvis. Then go ahead and point the ball of the foot, stretching through the top of the foot. Slide your hands to the back of the thigh, one on the thigh, one on the calf, or both on the calf. And we'll start a slow point and flex here, very slow. Really feeling yourself move. You may even feel a little bit of shaking in some places, and that's okay. Making sure that as you pull the toes to you, you're not turning the pinky side away. Keep pulling the pinky side to you. And then on this last flexion, pull towards you and hold. You may want to grab your toes outside of your foot, back of the calf, or you can rest your fingers on the back of your knee and gently press towards those fingers. Check to see if you've curled the lower back off the floor. You still want to have that little sense of space in the back of the waist. That's going to keep you true in the joint of the hip rather than flexing at the waist. And then go ahead, slow release. Then we'll take the knee out to the side. You can use your hand as a brace and extend. Again, check the pinky side, pull the pinky side to you, and bring the knee back to center. And we'll do that again. Take the leg out to the side, maybe a little further, and then back to center. Taking out even further if possible, maybe just a like quarter of an inch, and back to center. And this last time, taking the leg out as far as you can, pull the toes to you. Arch side pushes away, pinky side pulls towards you. Check to see if you came off the left pelvis. Squeeze the left pelvis into the floor and hold. We'll be here for 5 breaths. So each breath is 4 to 6 counts. We're all a little different. Push through the heel. And after that 5th breath, go ahead and bend the knee in. Take foot to ceiling, let your ankle wiggle around a little bit. Foot to floor, leg down the mat, reach through your right fingertips to. Then slide the right foot to you, left foot up to the ceiling. Making sure you're still keeping that little space in the back of the waist. We'll do some point and flex here, just push through the heel. Whole flexion, push the heel. Check to see if you're curling the lower back up and the back waist is squished to the floor, and find that space. Go ahead and point your toes, pull the leg a little bit more, point, flex again. You want to rest your fingertips just in the back of the knee. Pinky side pulls to you, and then whole flexion. You may want to hold your toes or the back of the leg. One hand on the calf, one hand on the back of the knee. Wherever you feel like you can, check that right leg hasn't lost itself there and gone off to the side. Pinky side pulls down. Unlock the jaw. And we'll go ahead and tug that knee in. And then out to the side. Knee goes to the side, leg extends. Watch the back of that right pelvis. Bring it back. And again, out to the side. Press through the arch, pull the pinky side to you, and back. Again, out to the side, press through the heel. Keep that little bit of space in the back of the waist. We'll do that one more time. Take it out to the side, and this time hold for 5 breaths. Toes pull towards you. Right kneecap stays to the ceiling. Back of the right pelvis grounded, so that right waist is busy. Pinky side of the foot pulling in. Toes pull towards you. Unlock the jaw, just breathe here. Your left hand is there as your brace. And after that 5th breath, go ahead and bend the knee, bringing it back into center. And replace foot to floor, leg down the mat, and full body stretch. So this time we'll keep that left leg on the ground and drawing right knee in. And letting the left knee come across the body. I'm going to use both my hands on the outside of my right thigh. And then extending the leg. Here is especially where we want to press through the pinky side because it's uncomfortable with that leg across the midline of the body. We want to keep pushing through the arch side, pulling pinky side to you. Check to see if you are taking that back of the right pelvis off the floor and it stays glued down. Right side of the waist is working. And go ahead and bend the knee. And we'll do that a couple more times. Just extend. Press through, bend, and again, across, press through, and bend. And this last time, across, press through, and stay. We're looking now for the pinky to pull to you, arch side away, pressing gently into the back of that knee. And now we're going to think about where that right seat bone is, and push it down towards your left heel. It's like you're trying to elongate the right side of your body. Keep pulling pinky side to you, toes pull towards you, leg across the midline of the body, right seat bone squeezing down towards that left foot, holding and breathing. You may find this in all sorts of places you're not used to feeling. Hang in there, relax. Just relax the mind here. And we'll go ahead and draw the knee back into center. A little rock from side to side. Press that right foot up to the ceiling. A little point and flex just to get the kneecaps kind of resituated. And then finding happy baby just on this side. Pulling the knee down, pressing the foot up, back and forth a couple times here. Making sure that pinky side stays down, a little bit of arch in the back of the waist is still there. And then pulling the knee down, we'll stay here. Check to see if you've rolled and the left hip is off the ground and the left calf is off the ground. And make sure the whole pelvis is on the floor. A little bit of space in the back of the waist. One more breath. Release by tucking the knee in. Right foot to the floor. Pause here for one full breath. Right leg down the mat, right arm overhead. And then we'll slide the left knee in. Pulling the knee in. Give yourself a little breath here if you need to. And letting your foot go up to the ceiling, just push through. And bringing that knee back in. The left knee comes across, push through. And coming back. Go ahead and just let both feet rest to the floor for a moment. Both legs down the mat, arms overhead, big reach. And bringing the knees back in. Right leg down the mat, left foot up. And bring the knee in, take it across, and extend. Arch side away, pull in. Back to center. And again, both hands are on the outside of that thigh, push through. And come back to center. Again, take the knee across, push through. We'll do that one more time. Knee comes across, press through. Arch side pushes away, pinky side to you. Back of that left pelvis is on the floor. Then we'll take that left hand and push the left seat bone down towards the right heel, making sure the back of the pelvis is grounded. Hold and breathe. One more breath. Go ahead and fold that knee in, draw the knee center, give a little squeeze. We'll take foot to ceiling, maybe let your ankle roll a few times. And then we'll find that happy baby just on this side. Bring the knee down and pushing up, keeping the calf and the back of the pelvis to the floor. Slow it down. And the next time that knee comes down, just stay there for a few breaths. Right calf, right pelvis, back of the right ribs on the floor. And go ahead and release the foot up, let the ankle wiggle a little bit, knee pulls in, left leg, foot to the ground, take a full breath here. And then left leg down the mat, left arm overhead, big reach. Let's go ahead and slide both feet up, knees pull in, and we'll get that little bit of up and down. Just making sure we're not rushing through. That's what that little pause was back there, just to slow us down, give the body a chance to see what is going on, see how it feels. So just because I'm moving through, if you need to stop every now and then just to pause, do that. So we're going to keep moving through here, settling back into the center of the pelvis. If you've moved in your mat at all, just straighten yourself out. We're going to take the left ankle and place it across the right knee. Now notice the ankle is not on the muscle of the thigh, it's all the way across. And then just relax your foot. Pulling the foot back has nothing to do with supporting the knee. So just letting the leg relax, the ankle relax. So instead of pulling the knee towards you right now, we're going to take this left hand and gently press, slowly press the left knee away a little bit. Then the left sole of the left foot's going to come all the way over to the floor. Noticing I'm not letting the knee draw in. I'm keeping the knee away. You may want to switch hands, use your right hand. So the left knee is being pushed away, sole of the left foot is on the floor. Then we're going to look for the back of the left ribs to come towards the ground. So we're squeezing left ribs into the floor. Right hand is supporting the left knee to move away. And just staying here for a few breaths. Keep squeezing the left ribs down, and left knee is pressed away. Couple breaths here, just take your time. And slowly release. And coming onto the back. And drawing your left knee in towards you. Give a little pull, and then a little release. A little pull in, a little release. A little bit of pull, and this time we'll stay. Check to see if the lower back is rounded and the waist is in the floor. If it is, press the pelvis back into the ground. You may have to release how much you're pulling that knee forward. And also check to see if your knee, right knee is lined up with your sternum. You want it lined up with the right side of your chest. One more breath. And we'll go ahead and release. Taking that left foot up to the ceiling, just giving the knee, ankle, hip a chance to straighten out. Right leg down the mat. And we'll take that left leg all the way out to the side as far as you can go. Keeping the back of the right pelvis on the floor. So if you're over here with the hip, knee, and calf off the floor, come back, put everything back on the ground, and then take that leg out to the side. Hold and breathe. You may have your hand on your calf. Leg may need to be a little bit bent, that's fine. Toes pull to you, arch side pushed away. Go ahead and bend that knee, bring it back into center, give a squeeze, and release your foot to the ground. Take a full breath. Just reestablish yourself on the mat. Left leg down the mat, reaching overhead. And then we'll draw the right knee up, give it a squeeze, left leg comes up to join, and we'll take that right ankle across. Again, the bone of the ankle is not on the knee, it's all the way over. It's completely cleared the thigh. Relax the ankle. Right hand presses right knee away. Rolling onto the left hip, sole of the right foot to the ground to switch hands. Left hand now is pressing the right knee. We're looking for the back of the right ribs to come towards the floor. So instead of staying with the right ribs up, I'm going to press the back of the right ribs down to the ground. Continue pressing your right knee away with the left hand. Right ribs are squeezing into the floor. These deeper breaths stretch all the way down into the hip. And slowly releasing, coming onto your back. We'll reach the right hand through that little diamond shape there. Pull the knee towards you, head stays on the ground. And pull to you, and then release. Pull it towards you, and then release. Maybe 2 or 3 more times till you're ready to pull the left knee gently towards you. Again, check to see if that left knee is lined up with your sternum. If it is, it needs to be lined up with the left side of your chest. Pulling the knee in towards you. Check to see if the lower back, the waist is in the ground and the tailbone tipped up. And bring the pelvis back to the floor. Little sense of lightness in the back of the waist. Left knee lined up with left chest. And go ahead and release nice and slow. Untangle, take right foot to ceiling, give that knee a chance to kind of line back up. Little point and flex will help with that. Right foot to the ground. Right leg all the way down the mat. Go ahead and reach through. Let's take both legs down the mat. Stretch. And then bringing your knees up, but both feet are on the floor. You're welcome to let the arms open out into a T. And lifting the pelvis up, finding a simple bridge pose. We just want to go until you can feel as though you've opened up the front of the hips a little bit. They're as flat and straight as you can get. And then go ahead and return to the floor, nice and slow through the back. And then we'll draw the knees to chest, coming in and out a few times, getting the lower back to soften up a little bit. And we'll do that again, taking both feet to the floor. Lifting up. Letting yourself back down. And drawing the knees into the chest a few times. And I think we forgot to do the leg extension on the other side. Go ahead and lift up, taking arms overhead this time. And then letting yourself come all the way to the floor. So we're going to walk the feet pretty wide apart. And just letting the knees, or one knee drop towards the ground, and then the other just going back and forth a few times. And then reaching down, pulling that right foot up as far as you can towards your body. We'll take the right knee down to the floor and left ankle comes across. If that's uncomfortable, just leave that left foot on the floor. We're looking to feel a little pull, stretch, maybe all the way into the top of that right kneecap. And go ahead and release. And let your knees just wiggle a little bit from side to side again. Straightening into the center, left heel comes back towards you as much as you can, and then taking it down towards the floor. So you can keep your right foot on the ground, or if you'd like to, you can cross it over. We're looking for some pull through the front of that left hip, and all the way down into the front of the left knee. An easy, slow release. Kind of untangle, straighten yourself out. Drawing both knees into the chest. Feet to the ceiling, arms overhead, push through the heels, and then draw knees back in. And this time, as you take your feet up, legs are going to open a little bit wider. Exhaling everything back in towards the middle. Once again, legs out even further, and coming back together. And last time, taking the legs out. So your hands can either be on the outside to bracket, or if you'd like to go ahead and grab your toes or ankles, anything that feels good. My hips are feeling it right now, so I'm just going to bracket. We're still looking for that pencil slide behind the back of the waist. Pelvis is to the floor. One more breath. From here, we'll move into happy baby on both sides of the body. And this time, go ahead and let the lower back come off the floor. We'll get a little rock from side to side. So if you're not grabbing your feet, sometimes just wrapping your arms around the backs of your thighs is a really nice place to be. We're letting the lower back curl off the floor now. Go ahead and release, draw the knees in, give a little squeeze, and we'll take feet to ceiling again, arms overhead. Exhale everything back to center. One more time, up. Everything back to center, and this time we'll slide the hands up and down the thigh. If you'd like to, you can even rest your elbows on the floor. Just make this in the hips and the knees. Slow and easy. And then releasing both feet to the floor. And let yourself just take a moment. Reestablishing pelvis on the ground, back of the waist light, center of the head. And then slowly letting your legs go down. From here, you are welcome to just move into a shavasana for yourself after all of that movement. Sometimes legs up the wall after this much hip movement feels really good. That's just bringing yourself over to the wall, letting your legs go up. You can always make sure you have a blanket under your head for protection. Or, if you want to, you could take a few minutes of rest here and then go directly into part 2, which is where we add a little bit more weight bearing. So, your choice. Just make sure as you move through this entire hip opening or range of motion that you're taking your time, that this has got to be nice and slow. Those holds are, if you can, up to 5 counts, and that's with a breath rather than counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to breathe in to a count of 4 to 6 and out to a count of 4 to 6, and each one of those is 1. So one hold, 30 seconds minimum for each hold.